Hello and welcome to the Quibber channel. I am Jason, your host. Ukraine is not good. Russia is not evil. It's something we seem to forget. As someone who has talked to people and has friends on either side, these are just human beings. The true tragedy of Ukraine and Russia is that the people in Russia and the people in Ukraine, they have families on either side. They are quite literally brothers and sisters. Before all this happened, there was cross-play and merging and talking and connections and loved ones that spent time together, history, friendships. Russia is not evil. Ukraine is not good. They are both the same. Russian people and the system in place can be totally corrupt. But so can Ukraine. This is built into them. It's a very distant system than the West. People say, oh, if the Russian people wanted to stop this, they could. No. All you armchair sycophants, all you shitty little people with your opinions who live in the West, who believe that, oh, they should stand up and fight. If the Russians didn't want Putin, they could get rid of him. Russian systems are very different. There is no voice of freedom. This is not a Hollywood film. Literally anybody who speaks out in any way against Putin and his setup, his control system, will either end up in jail, in work camps, dead, or the front line. This is just how it will happen. Russia is very good at keeping people isolated. You think the West have a thingy on all the classes and keeping good the poor from the middle class from the high class. In Russia, it's even worse. And there's this system of isolation and difference set up in a country that, in the paradox is this, it's supposed to be everyone and so on, and all this communism and idea, and that everybody works together for this, and it's so far wrong, and has been corrupted and destroyed so much on a base level. There's a lot of people in Russia who don't follow Putin, who are not rich, so they can't get out of the drafts and the subscriptions and the mobilizations, who don't want war. But Putin and his setup has created a power imbalance in the politique that means that anyone going against him if done so from within the country, is not going to survive. It isn't just about getting rid of Putin. He's created an entire system based around him that works on the same way. And he's created a very intelligent system where even down to the military, everyone is out for themselves, which is such a paradox when you think of the spirit of communism and what it was supposed to be about equality. Even companies or their equivalent in the army, not just army versus navy versus air force, but even companies within different parts of the same army area unit will be one-upping and screwing over and corruption and trashing each other. The political system that's set up in Russia works based on the idea of keeping everyone fighting each other. And that's the same for the people in their own country, in their own army, in their own politic, in their own thing. There's different branches of his government who actively fight against each other and trash each other, and therefore they can't work together to take down Putin and his type. And it works fucking well. Dissemination. He tries to destabilize the West and get us to infight against each other. It's the same kind of idea. But do not think that Ukraine is the white knight. Ukraine, unfortunately, is filled with the same kind of system. Not as bad. And their current leader is pretty damn good. And there's no doubt that we should be on the side of Ukraine because someone's got to fucking stop Putin. Because if no one does, we're fucked. So don't think I'm trying to say that we shouldn't be stopping Putin. We should. Putin is a true evil for the world. But Ukraine is not perfect. Ukraine is at least trying to change. But there is a core corruption there. And systemic issues. And yes, there is a version of Nazism in the Ukrainian areas that is very uncomfortable to the West. But make no doubt, Putin has to be stopped. And not with appeasement, not with letting him get away with it, because if we let him get away with it 5-10 years ago, once he's learned his lessons from this war, he'll come back stronger and we'll be in trouble. So, yeah. I hate it when I see people who say, oh, all Russians are bad. They've got to take responsibility for what Putin's doing. No. The West is bad because we empowered Putin. We accepted his cheap oil. We accepted his cheap deals. We let him gain control. We let Putin get into a position where he believed he could get away with this. Make no doubt in that. We in the West caused this. We did. We empowered the system that causes this. That's all I've got to say on this.